Hello Endo Warrior Goddesses, thank you so much for joining me for another yoga video. Today we are going to do a quick 15-minute flow for the ovulation phase in our cycles. Before we get into today's video, I wanted to just remind you of the menstrual phase yoga class pack now available on my website. This is a class pack that includes 15 hours of yoga classes for your menstrual phase in all 4 phases of the cycle: follicular, ovulation, luteal, and menstrual. So today's brief class is going to focus on the ovulation phase in our cycle, and I think that there's a super common misconception around ovulation and our ovulation cycle being just something that we utilize when we're trying to conceive. And even though we might not be trying to conceive in the moment, we still have an ovulation cycle, and our ovulation cycle is still beneficial to our health as we exist in our daily lives as humans, even not planning to conceive or anything of that nature. So our ovulation phase is about way more than just having babies, right? During this time in our cycle, you might notice your skin is actually glowing. Our hormones are doing a lot of things kind of in our favor right now, but in addition to that, our communication skills are also at an all-time high during our ovulation phase. And I just ultimately think that this is a really good time to tap into self, to really start to awaken that inner divine feminine goddess, and even to do a little bit of detoxification. So in our ovulation phase, we have a lot of energy to burn, and that is what we're going to focus on in today's practice. This will be an energizing power flow with a little bit of a detoxifying quality to it as well. So if you are ready, go ahead and grab your mat, grab a couple props if you think you might need them, and we will get started with our yoga practice. We are going to begin today's practice standing at the top of the mat. So find your feet at hip-width distance apart. Lifting up the toes here, planting the feet into the mat, and then spreading out your toes and dropping the toes down to the mat here. Finding a nice, stable sense of balance here. Palms are facing the front of the mat, tucking in that pelvic floor and engaging the core slightly here. We're just going to take a few moments and take a few breaths to set our intention for today's practice. Seeing if we can tap into our sense of self, our sense of inner power, and awaken that beautiful inner goddess that we all have living within us somewhere. Whether we tap into that energy every day, every month, or if we don't necessarily tap into that energy much at all, let's use this practice to do so. Beautiful. When you're ready, on your next inhale, bending those knees slightly, bringing the arms down, around and up overhead. Palms come to touch. Bringing the hands through center now, we are going to find our way into our forward fold. Keeping the knees slightly bent here if that feels good for the body. As we inhale, bringing the hands to shins, finding a nice flat back here. Exhaling, folding forward, finding a nice juicy forward fold here, letting go of the neck, letting go of the head, shaking the head from side to side or back and forth if that feels good. And you're ready, taking those hands now down to the mat and stepping back both feet into our plank pose. Now, this is starting our practice out with a lot of heat here already, but we're going to take 10 deep breaths here in our plank pose. What this is going to do is just help us start to activate the core, build strength in the core muscles, and the core is connected to the pelvic floor. You can do it. If you need to drop the knees, feel free to do so, but keep that core engaged, nice and tight in the core here. Breathing deeply, one breath at a time. Beautiful. On your next exhale, lifting that seat up to the sky, making our way into our downward facing dog. Finding a nice flat back here. Breathing deeply. When you're ready, on your next inhale, bringing that right foot now up to the sky, nice and high into our three-legged dog. You can bend the knee and bring the heel to the glute if that feels good, and that's in your practice. As you exhale, go ahead and step that right foot now through the hands at the top of the mat. Releasing that back foot so it is parallel with the short edge of the mat, and windmilling the arms up now into our warrior two. Arms come out to a T, shoulder blades together. Nice strong pose here. Gaze over the right fingertips. Holding here just a couple of breaths. Beautiful, strong pose. I like to do these warrior poses in the ovulation phase. It feels strong. You feel like this divine feminine warrior goddess. Beautiful. On your next inhale, flipping that front right palm now up towards the sky, leaning forward in the body, and exhaling, shifting your weight back, letting that back left hand glide down the back of the left leg. Right hand comes up overhead into our reversed warrior. Gaze up overhead. Feeling a beautiful stretch in the right side body here. Beautiful. As you exhale now, we're going to come back up into that warrior two. We're going to adjust the feet now. Bringing the feet out nice and wide. Now the toes are going to point to the corners of the mat. Bending deeply into the knees here, finding our way into goddess pose. And what I like to do here is just gently take my fingertips and graze from my knees all the way up my body until my arms come up overhead. Breathing here. Finding any micro movements you might need. Beautiful. Exhaling. Hands come down now, caressing the sides of your face. Let them touch your body all the way down to your knees. Beautiful. Standing up, arms overhead. Now we're going to point that right foot now towards the front of the mat. Back foot follows, bending into that front right knee. And arms come up overhead for our high lunge on the right hand side. Beautiful. As you exhale, hands come down now to frame that front right foot. Right foot steps back into our downward facing dog. Breathing deeply here. Beautiful. On your next inhale, that left foot comes up now into our three-legged dog, bending into the knee, bringing that heel towards the glute if that feels good and that's in your practice. As you exhale, stepping that left foot now through the front of the hands, releasing that back foot so it is parallel with the short edge of the mat, and windmilling those arms up into our warrior two on the left hand side. Arms are out to a T, nice and strong here. Gaze over those front left fingertips. Beautiful. As you inhale, front left palm flips up towards the sky, leaning into that front left leg, and exhaling, releasing into our reverse warrior. Gaze comes up overhead at those left fingertips. Right fingertips are just sliding down the back of that right leg here. Beautiful. As you exhale, coming on up back into our warrior, straightening the legs this time, and pointing the toes out towards the corners of the mat. I'm going to turn around here so you can see me a little bit better. And again, making our way into our goddess pose. So bending deeply into those knees, taking the hands out into a mudra, or if you'd like and you want to tap into that divine sense of femininity, I like to just use my fingertips to gently caress the body here. Beautiful. Now, if you'd like, you can take your hands to each of your knees and just simply drop into each shoulder one at a time here, finding a nice stretch through the back of the shoulder blades. One and then the other. Beautiful. Now, taking those left toes now, pointing the left toes towards the front of the mat. Right toes follow, bending into that front left knee. We're making our way into our low lunge on the left. Just holding for a couple of breaths. Beautiful. As you exhale, hands come down to frame that front left foot as we step back into our downward facing dog. And just take a couple of breaths here. Beautiful. As you exhale, dropping the knees now onto the mat, making our way into our tabletop pose. We are going to move through thread the needle here. So inhaling those right fingertips high, opening up the heart, opening up through the chest here. Exhaling, taking that right arm and threading it through the left arm, going as deep or as shallow as you need to here. So you might be just down here, that's totally fine. If you need to go a little bit further and actually bring your face through this arm a little bit to find a good stretch through the back of the shoulder blade, again, don't overdo it, but do what feels good for your body. Just taking a couple deep breaths here. Anytime we do a twist, this is always really good for detoxification because it's almost wringing out our organs like a sponge. Beautiful. On your next inhale, bringing that right arm back up and dropping it down to the mat, finding this pose on the other side. Inhaling now, that left arm up and open. Exhaling the left arm through the right here, as shallow or as deep as you need. Honoring what your body needs on each side. Maybe you go deeper on the right than the left or vice versa. No shame, just honor what your body needs in this moment. Breathing into this pose here. Beautiful. On your next inhale, bringing that left arm back up, opening through the chest. Bringing both palms down to the mat now, dropping the seat towards the heels, and making our way into our child's pose. Beautiful. When you're ready, you can make your way onto your back, however that is most comfortable for you. And as you inhale, go ahead and inhale both knees up into the chest here. Give yourself a nice big hug, maybe rocking side to side. Exhale, go ahead and release that left leg down to the mat now, still hugging into your right knee. I want you to take this right knee and let it cross over the left side of your body. Arms come out to a T. Maybe that left hand holds onto the right knee a little bit here. A nice spinal twist. Beautiful. Inhaling back up through center. Releasing that right leg down now, grabbing hold of the left knee, pulling it in through the chest. Flexing that foot and letting that knee float down over and across the side of the right of your body. Arms come out to a T. Nice spinal twist on the other side. Beautiful. When you're ready, coming back through center. Extending both of the legs now down to the bottom of the mat. Making our way into our final resting pose, Savasana. Hands come down to the sides of the body, palms face up. And just let gravity do the work here. Letting go of any tension you're holding in the muscles at any point in the body. Coming back to that intention, back to that sense of inner power. Remembering that you are divine. You own your power. And you are an Endo warrior goddess. If you'd like, you can repeat the mantra aloud or silently to yourself. I was born worthy, and nothing has changed. Feel free to stay in this pose for as long as you need. If you're ready to move on with your day, go ahead and meet me in a seated position on the mat. We're going to close out today's practice with the universal vibration of Om. When you're ready, Bringing your hands in through heart center. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. I hope that you enjoyed this class. If so, feel free to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to help other fellow Endo Warrior Goddesses find this content. If you enjoyed this class and you're looking for more, don't forget to check out the Menstrual Yoga Class Pack on my website at bohobaileystudio.com or visit the link in the description. I hope you all have a fantastic day and you feel ready to embark on this journey. Namaste. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Join our Endo Warrior Goddess community by clicking the link in the description. And as always, I'll be back every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday with more content.